Hey, Cards fans, welcome to the Redbird Rundown. I'm Matt, joined by Andy and Jonathan today. And in this episode, we're going to discuss the key moments of spring training so far in the last week and Albert Pujols' aspirations to manage. But gentlemen, before we get into the rundown, my kids were having an argument over breakfast the other day. One of them wanted waffles, one of them wanted pancakes. And we weren't going to make both. It was like one of those kind of situations. So we had to like settle it and flip a coin, like do all this kind of stuff. So it just brought up that age old thing of, are you guys waffle people, pancake people, like breakfast food? Where are you at on all that kind of stuff?
Big breakfast. I like a big breakfast.
Okay.
As in, I could probably skip lunch because I eat such a big breakfast.
Okay. Now, is this your patented tofu and peanut butter breakfast?
Yeah. Yeah. So I swapped it up. Yeah, I did. Lots of protein in my breakfast. And I was eating bacon like literally every day. And I just read an article where, spoilers, it's not great for you. It's a good source of protein, but probably not the best for your heart.
I feel like almost everything that you just eat continuously is not good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there just gets a level where it's just like,
the old balance thing, man.
Yeah. So I just kind of went off the deep end. Like I definitely don't represent the average of Americans in terms of what I eat, especially in the morning. So I'm rocking 2 eggs, a smoothie, a little protein smoothie, protein oats, tofu, banana, some peanut butter on that tofu. Because guess what? The first time I ate the tofu, it was cold and it was a struggle. Like it required every ounce of my fiber to not like spit it out.
Yeah.
And so my wife was like, tofu just kind of blends to whatever you put on it or around it. Like it just kind of is like a chameleon. And so I was like, well, let's kind of make it like toast then. I just ictionate the jelly and just slap some peanut butter on it, and it's like toast in the morning. It's tofu toast.
I'll tell you, if tofu made peanut butter disgusting, it should never be eaten again.
Yes.
No,
right.
it does not. I warm it up as I cook the eggs. I warm it up so it's warm. And then slather some peanut butter on there, and I don't even know. It's like toast.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like I have a pretty good answer for this one. Growing up, going through late middle school into high school, I would eat 6
We're about to get a Pop-Tart. Oh, I forgot you were Pop-Tarts. Yeah. Okay.
No, I ate Pop-Tarts. Okay. But I had 6 waffles every day for a couple summers in the morning.
What?
Yeah, listen to this.
You ate 6 waffles?
Okay, Mom would go to the store. I kid you not. Okay. And she'd get like there's the thin pack, but then there's like the double, the big one.
Sure.
The big box. We'd go through that in like 2.5 days. Right?
Oh my God.
Listen to this. So there's 6 of them. Every other one had peanut butter on them. Every other one.
Is this what Wilson Contreras ate over the winter to add 12 pounds of muscle to?
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know how I processed that.
Were you training for like a food eating competition?
I was trained to stay up throughout the night to play games. That's what I did.
Did you eat again during the day? Like,
what's sad is it's like every 3 or 4 hours. Like I ate that and I was like, I feel good right now. If I did that today, I would die.
Well, it's just like that high school metabolism.
Yeah, I was
like
just burning
12 out of
stuff.
10 and you were smoking. Yeah.
So I feel like at that time, my answer would be waffles and I'd fight you anywhere, anytime. Okay. Now I feel like a regular pancake, it's okay. It's too dry. I feel like it could be very dry, right?
Yeah. Sure.
But we have been making pancakes ourselves and putting like bananas or don't scoff, but like tofu. A sweet potato base. It sounds crazy, but things that make it to where you honestly don't feel like you even need that much syrup. So it's like you enjoy it without having to because you drench it on a pancake and then you look and you're like, it's dry again. You're like, what happened?
Yeah.
So the problem I have with pancakes is like I make them for the kids sometimes, and it happens to where it's like it's too runny, so you add a little bit more of the mixture, and so then you end up making like you're like, oh, can I make like 5 pancakes? You end up making 25, and it's just like I don't know what to do with all this. I guess I'll freeze it. But the funniest thing with the waffle thing at a hotel that I witnessed is I watched this kid on one of our trips. I think I was in Branson, and this kid comes down and was struggling. Probably 9, 10, probably this kid was, and he just took a very long time at the waffle maker. And so I was just watching him as I'm eating, and the kid straight up fills up those little clear cups that are supposed to be for the waffle mix.
Yeah.
He filled up with syrup and put the syrup into the waffle maker. and completely destroyed that sucker. Like the dude, like the worker came out and had to like unplug it and just threw it away. Like just threw away the waffle maker. It was done.
I think those waffle makers and like some hotels have like the pancake little factory thing, you know what I mean? Some of the rollers and it goes through. I think those are about as reliable as like the ice cream makers at McDonald's. They're always down. The workers have to hate those things because they are always broken. Somebody's done something dumb with them. It's just a terrible system.
Well, and then I feel like if you were ever to use it, you're like, am I gonna get second or third degree burns just using this normally?
yeah.
Just a normal usage. Matt, where did the house fall on this?
Well, so we did waffles. I also think if I don't mind some pancakes, I think I'd go with waffles too. I kind of like the crisp of it some. I was staying in a hotel one time though. They had cinnamon roll batter to put in the waffle maker.
Oh, sure.
And they came out like cinnamon roll waffles. I slathered some peanut butter on it. I went syrup. Yeah. I was on a trip and I felt like I had enough calories in my system to like orbit the earth once to get myself ready. You know what I mean? Like I was ready to roll.
Yeah, that is another level. I feel like a cinnamon roll, like a really good one, transcends almost anything you could ever eat.
Yeah, man.
I really believe that. I really
Shouts do. Shouts to Cinnabon, sponsor the pod.
Wow.
Yeah, they're super good. Last thing I want to say about breakfast. Sure. Do you feel the need? I do kind of. I've done this thing where I feel the need when I am at a hotel and it has a continental breakfast. I feel the need is like it's a competition to where can I eat enough that I don't have to eat until dinner? Like I just skip lunch. So I just like
how like a camel.
Yeah. I just like house like 3 blueberry muffins as I'm getting my oatmeal ready and like a bowl of cereal on top of it and some eggs and some sausage. And
here's my philosophy on a trip. Also eat lunch anyway. Just do it.
Nah.
You know?
Yeah, I think I fall in that court. I respect the I'm here. It's here, so I might as well just fork it in.
Let's throw down. Yeah.
But also when wherever you are, you're like, but I'm never probably going to be here. I'm not going to be here for a while. So if I'm not going to get this again, let me just like throw that on top of the already massive pile that's in there.
Yeah. Yep. Here's the bottom line. Breakfast food good. Can eat for breakfast, can eat for dinner, can eat it anywhere in between. Lots of good options there. So what we want to do is take a look at the last week or so of spring training games. And for the listeners, we're going to try to make this a staple of our show for the foreseeable future. And I think the philosophy behind this is let's say you've missed 2 or 3 games during the week of the summer of the regular season. You haven't caught some things. We want to be that place that you can come to get caught up. What's going well, what's not going well. And at least for now, until we come up with a better stick name. Now, if you've got a better stick name, write us in on email and let us know. We're just going to do likes and don't likes. Okay. And I'm going to preface this by saying I'm going to stick to my guns here and say that if we're saying likes in spring training and don't likes in spring training, I do not think that this should impact what we do in the regular season. But I think we would be silly not to just take stock of where these guys at, how they're performing, what are they doing. Day games can be hard to watch for people. I have not been able to watch very many of the day games in spring training. So anyway, with all that aside, we do want to do, like I said, likes and don't likes. And we're going to start with maybe one of the biggest likes of spring training so far is Victor Scott II. Guys, he is scorching. So his stats, let me give you his triple slash line real quick. We're recording this on a Saturday. He's not in the lineup starting today. So as of Friday, his stats were 389, 500 on base, and 722 slug. I realize this is small sample size theater and this is spring training, but I think this is what we want to see. You know, like this is success. This is what we want to see out of Victor Scott II. So Jonathan, take the first crack at it. Vic is sizzling. How's it sitting with you?
It's sizzling really nice, like a nice waffle or a nice pancake. It feels really nice.
It
really,
almost might be bacon.
It might be. It might be. But see, I want Vic all season, so I don't care if it's unhealthy.
Yeah, true. Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I want him to play. He needs to be on the team, and I wish he would take the center field spot. I don't understand the infatuation with Siani. I feel like we've seen his ceiling, and we have not seen Vic's ceiling. I just think it's as simple as that.
And it's really fun to watch him play like little league small ball. Like he'll get on somehow, either a walk or a single. He'll steal second, and then he's in scoring position, and someone base knock or something can score him. And that's happened a couple of times in spring training, and that's what should be happening from a really speedster. I really enjoy that. Like everybody is all about the home runs, but the small ball is honestly more consistent, and I like that. That's part of what's happening with him.
I mean, the best outcome probably for the Cardinals franchise would be for Vic to take hold of that center field spot and get on base enough to be our leadoff hitter. Like, kind of prototypically, you've got leadoff hitters with some speed, which is what Andy's describing, and that's amazing. Not every team does that. I think more than that, you want that high on base guy. But if Vic could turn into that high on base guy, guys, we are in business at the top of the order if he's able to seize this moment. And to Jonathan's point, here's what I'm thinking. Like, if you go back and look at Vic's minor league stats, he's got years where he really can hit the ball in a way where if you compare him to Siani's just a couple years older than him, incredible defensive player. But if you go back and look at his minor league stats, they're not anywhere approaching what Vic has been able to do through the minor leagues. So to everybody's point, this guy's got a much higher ceiling. And my only question is Vic going to get squeezed out by the Nolan Arenado crunch in this roster? Because like Vic versus Gorman versus, like we're just at that point in the roster. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know what I want to happen, though. I don't know if I want him to be squeezed out if he's not going to play. I don't want him sitting on the bench.
No, I do not want him to be the fourth outfielder. If we're going to do that, send him to Memphis and let him hit, every day.
That's what I think. If I think Siani's literally the perfect fourth outfielder. He's a guy that you put in the seventh inning and makes a play that saves the game. It's the truth. He showed us that just about every game last year.
He could be a pinch runner as well. Coming off the bench for that.
I just don't think Vic is that. I don't think so. I don't want him to be the guy playing, the fourth outfield position. Just send him in AAA if you're not going to start him.
Did he do this last year, or was it Siani that was hot in the spring?
No, Vic was hot in the spring,
Vic was hot in the spring as well.
He was. Yeah. I'll tell you the difference. And I'll say this. They have televised lower, like a fewer amount of games this year than last year. So I feel like I watched him last year quite a bit. And a big change I'm seeing is his stance is a little bit different. He looks like Wynn up there now. Their stances, if you put them, because one's a left and one's a right, they're like that where their front foot is kind of way out in the hole, but it's a very compact stance. And he doesn't look like he's pressing as much. I know this is spring, so this stuff's all very grain of salty, but he just doesn't look like he's pressing as much. I just hope that Siani's not one of these like Marmole's guy. Matt, I know you've said that before.
Oh, man.
That scares me like a little bit.
It does. I'm going to give Marmol quite a bit of credit so far in his managerial career in that I don't think he's really fallen into this trap. But there are times when Marmol starts talking about Siani and he just gets the heart emojis in his eyes.
Yeah.
I understand that sometimes you just kind of like fall in love with the guy's approach, or maybe there's stuff behind the scenes that we don't see. Maybe Siani's just like a real stand-up guy in the clubhouse. And I understand why you could be attracted to that. But from just me sitting here in my basement right now talking about the Cardinals, I think it's no contest that to me it's either Newt in center or it's Victor Scott in center to start the year. And we highlighted that position, quote unquote, position battle coming into the spring. Not that Newt won't play, he's going to, but props to Victor Scott for putting the pressure on the team and performing about as well as you can perform so far in the spring.
Right, because the spring, like we've alluded to a couple pods now, in the end, it's neither here nor there in terms of like. However, if you're going to have something you're going to do something to make people think, is like to do something really well, right? So like if he would come out and hit a $180 and be on base to fit, a quarter of the time, then it's kind of like it doesn't.
We've seen that before, we've seen that from him at the major league level. So that would really concern you, I think.
Right.
Yeah. So Vic is scorching. Baker is bombing. So we've got Luke and Baker. He is, we'll talk about this in a minute. He's just at a weird spot on the roster for the St. Louis Cardinals. Again, I know this is all small sample size, but we intend to do this during the year, is just take the guys' last 7 days and who's hot, who's not, what do we like, what do we not. So Baker so far in the spring is batting .394, .409, .824 on the slug, and is leading the team with 3 home runs for a team that right now in spring training is very scarily not hitting the ball much and not scoring a whole lot of runs. And Luke and Baker just kind of always hits, except when he's on the major league roster and doesn't get consistent plate appearances. The guy has hit everywhere else. So Andy, I'll start with you so far this time. What are your Luke and Baker thoughts? He's really come out bombing for us.
Yeah, he's currently tied for third in the spring training. So, I mean, again, small sample size, but you could be tied for last, at least,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, at least he's doing something, performing something. Yeah. It is an interesting thing, especially with some of the things that we don't like, and I don't want to spoil much, but like some of our power was coming from Nolan Gorman, and so Lucan, yeah, it throws in the mix of it's going to be difficult for the management to where do you put this guy? Yeah, I think that's a good thing when players perform and make the management kind of like scratch their head of, where do I want to put this guy?
Yeah, I generally think that like people who successfully hit at the AAA level, which he has shown over multiple years, like he hit like 30 plus home runs and was at like 99 RBIs maybe last year or 2 years ago.
I think to your point, I think he's climbing the rankings for Memphis Redbirds all-time home runs, which honestly is probably not really the record you want to have. You're stuck at AAA.
Yeah, he's going to be walking around Memphis and people are going to be like, oh my God, you know who that is?
Yeah,
that's the home run Baker.
Yeah, that's the home run king. But I think he's a guy that it kind of feels like a Juan Yepes-ish a little bit, where this guy, I think he's just going to need like 300 plate appearances in a row just to see what it is that you really have. Because it is, for the listeners, for us, it has got to be impossible to come into a game, a major league game. You haven't had major league live pitching in 2 weeks, and you need to go up there and make some contact. And he strikes out, and we're all like, well, he should be in AAA, right? That's such a hard spot. He's a guy, unfortunately, that's just going to need consistent time, and I don't know that he's going to get that. So I love that he's doing this. I'm just scared he's not going to get the chance to actually prove it.
I think what's limiting him is, well, first let me start with his positives. The dude just mashes left-handed pitching, and that's great. However, I mean, I think everybody listening to this knows and understands major league teams face immensely more right-handed pitching than left-handed pitching. So if Baker was simply like a left-handed batter and crushed righties, like there's just more of a spot for him. So he crushes lefties. It's the fact that he's only got 2 positions. He can play first base and he can hit DH. And we have a stockpile of guys that he's not going to play over Willie. I would say Burley is ahead of him in terms of, getting an opportunity. And Burley's kind of shown it at the big league level in a way that Baker never has. And to be honest with you, I just think Luke and Baker is always going to be squeezed on this team. But I think we're in one of those positions as an organization where it's not really worth looking to move him because you're not going to get anything for him. So he's just in a weird bad spot, like a Bermuda Triangle of bad spots on the roster.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
That is a good way to put it. I agree with that.
As spring training progresses, I think one of the things that we start to see is like they'll start to run out roster or lineups that look a little bit more like what Marmol is thinking for opening day. And I thought this was super insightful by Jonathan. And we took a look at the Thursday lineup. So I'm just gonna run this down, and guys, I'll let you take a crack at giving me your thoughts on this. So on Thursday, we ran out a lineup of Wynn at short, Newt Barr at second, and this is the batting order that I'm reading. Willie was at first base, Arenado third, Donovan batting fifth, playing second base. Pages was catching. I assume we're going to see Herrera there, and they were just rotating through the catching position. Now, this was super interesting. Victor Scott in left field, Hellman in right field, and Weatherholt was DHing in the 9 hole. So my one huge takeaway from this is very, very interesting that Newt Barr is playing in center while Vic is playing in left, because that is not at all what we're going to see with Victor Scott in the long term. So what do you guys make of that? Like, is that pretty close to the opening day, you think?
Yeah, I got 2 things. I think it's probably pretty close from an order perspective. Like when you look at Wynn, Newt Barr, Willie, Nato, Donnie, right, catcher, and then the last 3 is going to be like, whoever, the Gorman, the Walker, whatever you want to put down.
Burleson,
Burleson, right. So I think 2 things. One, they're putting Vic in left and Newton center because they're both training for that position. Truly. Like I think you could potentially see Vic play things other than center field if they feel like he should be on the team.
Sure.
I don't think they want to do that, but I think that they could do that if you want to keep Newt's bat in the lineup. I also just feel like it's, hey, Vic, if we see you in other positions, it's spring, get out there, try it, left, right, whatever.
So you're saying he's getting trained for the copy center. That's what he's doing.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Multi-trained in different positions.
Yes. The second thing is I love the respect that the team or that the coaching staff has for Weatherholt to keep putting him in here. We have gone through and optioned several guys to minor league camp, right? Chase Davis, who was our first round pick last year. You don't see any of these guys still here. He's still DHing. He's playing today as we record it. So yes. I love that they're just like, you know what? This guy was a first-round pick, highly touted. Let's just keep running him out there. And we'll talk about him later, but I love that they're putting him in there. That kills me.
Yeah. Andy, lineup thoughts on that I went through?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that it's fun to see where they ended up putting Brendan Donovan in the lineup. I didn't know if they're going to put him higher up in the lineup or they're going to sink him in the 5 hole to back up and protect Willie and Nolan. So it is interesting to see who they found. You know, I think it's a natural choice. I was kind of curious to see where they were going to specifically put him. I didn't know if they're going to put the DH slot. I don't know if Donovan scoots up sometimes in the lineup, and put our DH in the 5 hole, whoever that may be of that day. So that's my only takeaway there is specifically where Brendan Donovan was in the lineup.
Yeah, I'm going to plant my flag on this hill and hope that this guy proves me wrong. I really do not like Mason Wynn leadoff. And if this is what Marmol is thinking, I realize he spent quite a bit of time there in the leadoff position last year. But you can go back and look at his splits for the season last year. He was much, much better lower in the order than he was in the leadoff spot. And to Andy's point, I think the obvious thing to do is Donnie 1, Newt 2. I love Newt in the 2 hole. Like I think that's our best choice there. But I've seen these quotes where Marmol is hesitant and reluctant to have 2 lefties like next to each other in the batting order, meaning Donnie and Newt would need to be split apart. Number one, I don't really get that because neither guy has like horrendously bad splits against lefties. And number two, we're mostly facing right-handed pitchers. Like put your best, these are 2 of our best hitters, the 2 of our highest on base guys, get them up there at the top of the lineup. So I don't really get that. And if you're just so opposed to 2 lefties next to each other, then bat Willie second and bat Newt third, right? Jonathan, I see you shaking your head.
No, I was going to say, there are other guys in our lineup that if you put left on left back to back and they're facing a lefty or something, I'd be like, I don't know about that. Right.
Yeah, like anywhere Gorman is.
Yeah, something like that. But it's like, I would take Newt and Donnie against anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I would. So it's like, I guess I'm with you. I don't understand that thought process. And you just kind of circumvented that, right? Just put Willie, smack him between it and he'll be fine. Now, Willie ain't going to have no wheels. Willie's
no, he's not.
Those enormous excavating vehicles with like the tires the size of buildings. I feel like that's Willie now.
I think that Willie is there to just hit the ball off the fence or hit the ball over the fence. And he can trot to second base or he can trot home, and that's what's going to be. The other thing with that to me is like the math tells you that your leadoff hitter is going to get the most at bats. Well, guess what? I got news for everybody in Cardinal Nation. Brendan Donovan right now is a better offensive player than Mason Wynn right now. So give your best off. I don't think this is going to be a great offense. It's like give your best offensive players the most at bats. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, I love Mason Wynn. I hope that he takes this and runs with it and he proves me wrong, but I'm just planting my flag right now. Inside of a like, that's a don't like for me. I don't like Mason in the leadoff spot.
I can't argue that. I can't argue it.
Well, let's move on to Weatherholt. You guys already mentioned him. I should give a caveat here. The dude is batting 125 in spring training. So as far as hits go, it hasn't been great, but he is rocking a 333 on base percentage despite that very low batting average, which tells you the guy is selective. He's working counts. He's doing things. I think a really good comp for him right now, at least as far as I'm seeing, is like Donnie with more power. And I love that approach. And here's what I do like. Marmol has hard eyes for Weatherholt. He's been talking consistently about his professionalism and his attention to detail, and we really like that. So what do we make of Weatherholt's approach so far, Jonathan?
Yeah, first of all, you're never going to go wrong with a good eye at the plate. Yeah, right? Look at Newt, look at Donnie, I know this is extreme, but look at Juan Soto. Right? Sure. He is a prolific walker. Yeah. Right? These guys who have really good eyes. I mean, I watched a couple of his at bats today, and I mean, he stared down a pitch on the corner 3-2, and I was like, a little bit of pee came out because I would have swung that all day.
First at bat in the first inning, yes. I thought he struck out. I was like,
I did too. But he like emphatically threw his shoulder thing or his elbow thing in his helmet. And I'm like, I love it when guys are so confident they've walked and they have no idea what the ump did.
Yeah, love that too.
So you're never going to go wrong with that. And again, I said this a little bit earlier, but it's kind of telling how this guy's played nothing but low A ball, Palm Beach. Okay, the lowest professional ball you can play. That's that's like recognized, and he's playing against legitimate major league talent. So they're just going to stick him out there and see what he's got. I think it's a wonderful approach. I love every second of it.
I do too. Andy?
Yeah, I mean, he's 22, right? So if you think about that for just a second, listener, that is what most people graduate high school at 17 or 18. Okay. So you could argue he is either fresh out of college or a senior in college-ish is where he is, right?
Sure.
And so he is also shout out to Bats Left Throws, right? That's my man right there. All right.
Me too.
Just those things are impressive for someone who's so young to be so patient at the plate. Usually you see younger guys go up there and just go hack away. So today in the game today, he's 1 for 2 right now with a walk. So there's another walk on the board for him. So I do like the fact that we're giving him time. He is young. I think that he has a spot in the Cardinals nation at some point in the team. So let's keep it going, JJ. I like to see it.
Yes. Let's flip it to the pitching side. The offense has been really bad, but there have been some bright spots that we've highlighted. The pitching, there have been several guys that have been pretty good. We're going to highlight 2 here. Michael McGreevy has been shut down, lights out. And again, I know small sample size. We'll probably say that 50,000 times during the season. It is true. But in 5 innings, he's got 3 Ks. He's got 0 runs. This is a guy that's added a cutter to his repertoire last year. He kind of struggled in Memphis in 2023. And I think it's one of those things where like he literally just like went to the lab and invented a new pitch and just really helped him get left-handed batters out more. And he came up last year and was very, very good in some limited major league innings. And so again, I think you'd rather see a guy succeed than not, but this is kind of like building on stuff that we've already seen for him, and he has been very good. And I'm just going to count this as a player development win for the Cardinals, because it seemed like to me he'd kind of stalled out, and maybe he's kind of turned the corner and found something. Andy, what are you thinking about McGreevy so far?
This is the one that shut down the Blue Jays starters, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That was Quinn Matthews.
Matthews.
He pitched against the Yankees, but was equally as impressive.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Yes, I got those mixed. But yeah, I mean, it's just good. If you've listened to the pod, you know that we're fans of Quinn Matthews, and I'm a fan of McGreevy. I'm also a fan of Tink, even though he's tinkering around right now.
He is tinkering around. Yeah,
he's tinking out.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm very excited about these pitching prospects. If you're a casual fan, you need to tune in to Quinn Matthews and McGreevy. I think that there is promise there. I think those are names that you need to try to remember. So super excited. Jonathan, what are your thoughts here?
If we're not calling this guy McGravy,
it's got to be the McGravy train, baby.
It's the McGravy train, and I'm all over it. I was thinking about this the other day. It's going to be between him and Matz, right?
Yes.
And I argued this in my head, which maybe makes me seem like a little bit of a psycho, but I thought, why would you want to put McGreevy in? Well, he's already proven it multiple times at the end of the year, and now he's proven it.
He has.
And then I thought, okay, well, what's the pro for Matz? And it's like, well, we have him, and that was it. Like he's on the team. But I really think they're probably going to they're going to go with Matz is what I think's going to happen.
I think so too.
And our McGravy, I don't know if I think he should go in the bullpen. I think that's kind of a bad idea to mess with his
I do too.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Just put him in AAA. He is inevitably going to come up.
Keep him on the starter load. Keep him ready. Yeah.
But I also have I came to like a newfound discovery with this, with Matz, with other guys, and I'm maybe more frustrated that we have them. I'm just not going to be frustrated about it this year, because this year is a transition to whatever.
It is.
Honestly, whatever. If they go with Matz, I think they should go with McGreevy. Now, if we do this next year, I'm going to be like, Heim, baby, what are we doing now?
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Start blooming. Let the younger guys bloom. Yeah.
So if McGravy's down there just slathering them full of it in AAA, right, with the gravy, I'm fine with that, right? I'm okay with that. Yeah. So I think he's been, to your point, Matt, this is a win for our player development. We thought he was done. Yeah. And look at him. Like he has new life. I'm so happy for McGravy.
I agree. Another guy that seemingly is rounding the corner here and getting some consistency is Matthew Liberatore. He is 1 walk away from just 7 perfect innings to start his spring training. 7 innings pitched, 4 Ks, no hits, and only the 1 walk. He looks incredible. He's got consistent velocity. I think he's found a home in the pen. I don't mean to muck up our conversation here, but is Libby like he has a starter's repertoire? That was the trade we made a Rosarena, and we thought we were getting a pretty elite starting pitcher prospect here. Do we need to think about Libby to the rotation? Like he's looked very good so far. Jonathan, what do you think?
Don't you think we have to give it one more shot at some point?
I think so. He's 25 years old.
Yeah, relievers are so volatile. And it's like, who knows if that's going to be his career, but you don't want to put a guy on the pen at 25, like you guys just said. I think, and now we have no spots right now, so I can't answer that question. But I think he should have a shot to start again. There were times, even last year, that he looked pretty solid as a starter.
Yes.
He did. I think he's 25. Why not? Give him another chance to do it. And if he's not, he has already proven, like you just said, he can do it in the pen. So he's at least has some value there. But I would love if he was a starter. There's so much more value there, right?
Yeah. Andy?
I think he's going to get a chance too. I think, inevitably as the season grinds on, there's going to be things happening to the pitching staff, whatever, shoulder issue, elbow issue, stuff like that. So I think we are going to see him at some point, on the 4 or 5 spot in the rotation, just like hopefully some of these younger guys. So I think we will see him at some point. So it's just good to know that the wheels don't go completely off. It's not like we're pulling the guy out of section 134 to come up and pitch for the Cardinals at some point. Yeah. So, so I think we'll see him young. He's young. The Cardinals have some young players. We need to see where they're going to go, what their ceiling is for these players.
My main concern is that we do not banish him to the Zach Thompson wilderness, where we like pretend like he's a starter and then we put him in the bullpen. Then he goes down to Memphis. He's a starter. And now Zach Thompson is hurt. And Zach Thompson's career may just kind of be puff up in smoke. And I think Libby's better than that. And so I just hope whatever we do, I don't know how good an idea I think it is to put him in the pen in St. Louis and then Michaelis gets hurt. And we're like, okay, you're going to ramp up to be started pitcher inning. I don't think that's a good idea. So I'm not advocating for him to go to Memphis and but it's like I almost am advocating that. I think we got to see Libby as a starter one more time in his career.
I think if you asked him, he would probably lean towards what you guys are saying. I don't think, when I can't name anything off the top of my head where a starter transitions to be a reliever and then transitions to a starter in the season. No. Right? We just saw Jordan Hicks, we thought it was crazy that the Giants signed Jordan Hicks and then they gave him a full offseason to prep, and we're like, well, shoot, he's like really good.
Yeah.
So I am okay. There are other arms we can put out in the bullpen other than Liberatore. If we want to give him a chance in AAA, give him the reps and bring him up if somebody gets hurt. Put Graceffo out there. Put somebody else out there. It is okay.
Right. I agree. Let's transition to our don't likes. And let's preface this section by saying we are all diehard Cardinals fans. We are rooting for all these guys. This is not meant to be a negative section, but it's just, during the course of the season, there are going to be guys who have a bad week, and maybe bad weeks start stacking onto each other, and we have to have a tougher conversation. So let's start with Jordan Walker. I hate that Jordan Walker is in this section, but of all things, Jordan Walker I read that he stepped on a sprinkler head tracking down a fly ball and is out with some left knee soreness. Prior to that, the batting was not going great at all. Oh. And I did read that he's making some leg adjustments during his swing. They're also doing some leg adjustment. John Jay's working with him in the outfield to work on his fly ball patterns and his leg stuff. And Brant Brown is working on some leg adjustments during his hitting. But Jordan Walker, not the way we wanted to start, guys.
Yeah. Hey, John Jay, could you not spot that sprinkler out there?
Right.
Everything else. Yeah, it's sad, but I'm ready to roll with Walker this whole year. I don't care if this guy bats a $120 all year. I don't. Let's just see it. Let's see it. You're not going to hear me. Here's my oath. I am not going to complain about this guy or the next guy we talk about the whole year. I just want to see what it is. It is hard to make transitions and changes to swings at the major league level. That's got to be nuts. It's a reaction, milliseconds that you have up there to swing or not. And when you're thinking about your swing, it has to be such a helpless feeling. Yeah. Right. So I think you're right, Matt. It's such a bummer he's here, but let's just give him time. He's young. If we thought Libby was young, Walker's younger.
Yes. Yes. Years younger.
Time. Andy,
a 1 week injury. What do you think?
Yeah, he's upgraded day to day at this point, and he was able to take some dry swings I'd like to see what a wet swing is.
And do we want to see that? I don't know if we do.
Well, why would you specify this dry swings as if there's a thing that is a wet swing?
That is terrifying. I don't even want to speculate on that.
And he was able to play some catch on Friday, yesterday, as we record today on Saturday. So yeah, I agree. Like, I wish that we could have the comment that he hit 4 bombs and he's leading the Cardinals and that. You know, his slugging percentage is out of this world. Woo! But it's also like we've all said, it's spring training. So let's roll him in there. Let's definitively know so we can stop putting the question mark next to him. So we just know this, Jordan, this is your time to shine. This is it, bub. Let's do it.
Speaking of this is it, Nolan Gorman, 154, 185, 192, 9 strikeouts in 26 at bats so far in the spring. He is working on adjustments. He has been looking a little bit better recently, but this stings because it's the same story. It's the high strikeout rate. It's the lack of contact. Andy, Nolan Gorman, thoughts?
Yeah, it became a theme as the spring training games are happening while I'm at school for me on like in between 3 minutes just to get on and go to the box score. And I just click on Nolan Gorman and screenshot the 3 strikeouts that he has and send it to the guys here. And, you know, I would do no better and I'm not hating on him, but yeah, it's definitely wish we could have a different conversation of, oh yes, this is what we were expecting. What we're hoping is what the Cardinals need. And we're here. We're here again. Here we are, boys. We're back here at this point. So, Jonathan, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that we're not players because I was eating some graham crackers and milk earlier. And I was watching and I was like, you know, that he probably shouldn't have swung at that. And then I realized there's some graham cracker like on my hoodie. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to stop now. Yeah. But, you know, I thought about Gorman quite a bit this week too. And I asked myself this question: do I feel like the Cardinals have had a really, like a lot of like busts, first round picks, like a lot of players that have not worked out? My knee-jerk reaction, if someone asked me that, is I would say yes. I would say that we have had a lot of players that have not either successfully made it to the major leagues or had any kind of success at the major league level from the first round pick perspective.
Yes, yeah.
Donnie, they're all later round picks. All these guys are just like the diamond in the rough. So I did a little bit of analysis. I looked from 2014 to 2024, all of our first round picks that were not pitchers. So McGravy was a first round pick. He was a pitcher, right? So he's not in that. Yeah. So Nick Plummer, that's a name you probably haven't heard in a while.
Whiff.
Where's he? Out of the league. Never made it. Okay. Delvin Perez, he was a first round pick. Out of the league, never made it to the
steroids.
Yeah. Dylan Carlson, he had a solid year for us. Then we traded him for nothing.
Yep.
Right? Nothing. Flamed out. Next, Nolan Gorman, the aforementioned. We're talking about him right now in his struggles. Next, Jordan Walker. We just talked about him in this section. Chase Davis, next. Too early to tell. I don't want to give any comments on him. Yeah. JJ Weatherholt, obviously too early, but seems pretty promising.
Yeah.
Then I looked, all right, that seems like a lot, right? That's how many players? Like 6 players, 7 players?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, you know? Well, the sabermetrics, right? You know, you hear about that SABR. It's Society of American Baseball Research. They said that 66.7% of first round picks from 1996 to 2011 reached the majors. So I thought, okay, well, how many have we had it that made the majors? Well, it's pretty close to that number. And so then I thought, okay, well, then maybe this isn't just a Cardinals issue, that maybe it's just really difficult for these first round picks to make it to the big leagues and actually do anything. So I picked the Dodgers. Okay. The Dodgers have had 2 infielder, outfielder, like position players that have made it to the big leagues and made an impact. That's Will Smith and Gavin Lux.
Okay.
I'll just tell you right now, of all the names minus JJ Weatherholt, I'd rather have Will Smith.
Sure.
Right. He's the catcher for the Dodgers. He's extremely good. And I said all of that to say that I want to be patient with Gorman. It is extremely difficult for teams to pick players in the range we pick them, in the 18 to 27 range, that are not pitchers, to come up through the system and be successful. I know there has been plenty of examples of how we have failed our players. We haven't spent enough money. We don't have enough coaches. There's all kinds of that information out there. But I want to be more patient with at least with Walker, Gorman, Davis, Weatherholt. Obviously, Weatherholt's been successful. It's just really hard to nail these first round picks. Not every team does it. And look at the Dodgers, right? They only have 2 guys. One of them they just traded. Will Smith is like as a rarity at that range to be picked as a catcher and actually be successful. So I'm going to be patient with Gorman. I'm so sad for him. I wish he was better. I just do. But if this guy has 500 bats this year and he has a 43% strikeout rate, at least we will know.
Yeah. Well, we'll know.
Piggyback off your thought there real quick, Jonathan. It's also the same idea that football teams have with how many first round picks do you see go to the quarterback position, high profile, and they just don't. Like you could probably do a similar. They just don't do it. But then every once in a while they'll, their rookie team that they get drafted by cuts them and someone snags them. That's a middle of the road team, and Baker all of a sudden happens, or Sam Darnold. Stuff where they kind of have a revival to the career. So I guess I can echo that sentiment and understand where you're coming from. Is let's put a little time, make sure we don't have a Baker Mayfield out there. Let's make sure that it's truly a flop.
Yeah. Speaking of a flop, at least for the last week or so, Tink stinks. We hope this is not something that continues, but he's thrown 3.1 innings, 7 earned runs, 16.20 ERA. He's had some injury concerns. He's got some electrifying talent, but thus far, it has not been good out there for Tink. Andy, what are we thinking here?
Yeah, my boy, let's pull it together, Tink. All right, you got this. All right, another 22-year-old. All right, so we got plenty of those, but we're gonna have to pull it together. Probably just needs a little time to, refine his pitching, get some stuff, go back to the minors, get some stuff, and come up at some point, maybe late this year, next year. That's what I'm hoping for. We need all the pitching that we can get. We need all the studs to come out, because honestly, if you ask me as a baseball player, previous and fan today, pitching is the key in a playoff series, period. Yeah. And so we need these diamond in the roughs before they get snagged by the Dodgers to go play for them. We need rookie year contracts, quote unquote, to explode. And we need these guys to do this if the Cardinals are going to be successful. So Tink, I'm here for you. I'm rooting for you. I want you to be successful.
Yep. No, I'm with you on wishing Tink the best here. I just wonder if Tink, did you say he was, how old did you say he was, Andy?
22.
Okay. He's 22. I am now 31 and do not look like I was when I was 22. It's not like that much different, but my whole point, that was a little flex. Did you like how I threw that in there? Like, it's not that much different.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, okay. I wonder if Tink is going to be more successful as he ages and gets a little more meat on his bones. It scares me because when you look at him, he just looks like a little bird. Like he's so small.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of herky-jerky movement and pitching, and he's been hurt this entire time, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if he could bulk up maybe a little bit. And I know it's really difficult at 22 because, at 16, I was eating 6 waffles. And
I was just going to recommend a waffle and peanut butter diet for Tink.
Yeah, that's true. I
Jonathan
can
in there as the nutritionist, the St. Louis Cardinals nutritionist. Get in there.
Absolutely hilarious. So, yeah, I wish he would be better, but I wonder if he's just too small. Matt, what do you think about Tink?
6'1", 195, by the way.
I'm worried that Tink's ultimate destiny is the bullpen, and I don't want that for him. There's just so much more value in getting starters innings out of a guy, and I'm a little concerned about that. And I would not be opposed to us unloading Tink in a trade. Like if it was if Tink had to be a piece for a trade a couple of years ago, I'd been pretty upset about it. I don't know that I'm going to be quite as upset now. There's some volatility with him in the future that worries me a little bit.
I agree.
For our last don't like, Jonathan, you've got a note in here about Newt and center. Go ahead.
So I don't want to pile on Newt here because he's a fine center fielder. Like if you look at his advanced metrics, it's not like he's any worse in center as he is anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's just you're going to see it this year if he plays there consistently that he's going to be exposed a bit in center. He made a route on a play in spring. And again, it's spring, but we get to watch it. And it was truly bad. It was not good. And it's like, it's a play that Vic and Siani make, I think, pretty regularly, but you're trading defense for offense. I understand it totally, but I just feel like if he's going to be out there 75% of the time, let's hope he's that healthy, right? You're going to see some exposure on his defense. And I don't know if that's going to irritate us later. Like you watch it and you're like, man, wouldn't it be awesome if Vic was right there? Because Newt shouldn't have to play center.
Well, didn't one of you guys allude to in a previous pod earlier this year of the fact that, Newt, we don't want to see Newt in center field just because of the health concerns?
I said that. Yeah. I only because, I mean, I know you can't wrap the guy in bubble wrap out there, but center field covers a ton of ground and Newt can't help himself. So it's like,
well, this speaks to where the conundrum of where this team has put itself is you either play the bat team in center or you play the leather team with Gianni, but like Vic in center, and then you're losing bats. And the thing to me about this roster crunch is versus Vic, or it's, those are the types of things that we're seeing, like who's going to get these at bats. And I think at the beginning, they're going to go to Gorman. So it wouldn't shock me one bit if Newt is in center field to start the season. And it's just kind of rough. It probably needs some good defense behind it. And it's sort of worrisome for where we're at.
Yeah.
So we did want to take some time here and just really cover what's been going on in spring training so far. I think that's important as Cardinals fans. So if you've made it with us this far into the pod, you've really gotten a good look at what's been going well and what hasn't been going well. There are just a couple things that we would watch for in the next week, and I'm just going to run these down pretty quick. And it goes with what we've talked about. Can Vic keep the pressure on the team in center field? Does McGreevy keep achieving and can he continue to push them? And let's watch Walker in this next week as he comes back from injury. Is there anything that lingers?
That's right. Get those
the offense.
That's it.
Does the offense start to come around? Things like that. Something to look forward to on the horizon next week is there's a spring breakout game on March 14th with our top prospects. That's something MLB's kind of been pushing. That's sort of a fun thing. So that is also on the horizon for the next week. But again, I think we've done a pretty good job here of kind of giving you a digest of what's been happening in spring training so far, what has mattered and what hasn't gone well.
Yeah, we're only 2.5 weeks out till opening day, the 27th. So yeah, we definitely need we're it's coming up. It's approaching. The season is absolutely.
Yeah, and you're going to see Quinn Matthews. I know we talked about him earlier. We only got to see one start of his against the Blue Jays. You're going to see him guaranteed in that spring breakout game. So, and that will be televised. So that'll be much watched television for sure.
Yes. As far as time goes, we are going to bump the discussion of Albert Pujols' managerial aspirations to next week. We will talk about Albert, clearly a Cardinals legend, and obviously if he's throwing his hat in the ring to be an MLB manager, the Cardinals are going to be on one of the shortlist teams. But we do want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Redbird Rundown, your go-to source for St. Louis Cardinals news. Subscribe, rate, and review the show to help us grow. Follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Facebook for the latest news. Keep your rally caps on, and let's go Cards.
Wet swings.
Big back.